The Museum of Fine Arts will celebrate the spirit of Boston by offering free admission to all visitors on Memorial Day weekend. As Lisa Hughes shows us, the MFA wants to help the healing after the marathon attacks.
The MFA is calling its tribute to the city, Boston, I Love.
I think it provides wonderful consolation, and above all, that thought. You know, we've just seen the worst that human hands and minds can do. You can come to the museum and see the very best that hands and minds can create, and it's inspiring.
MFA Director Malcolm Rogers was flying home marathon Monday and found out about the attacks when he landed at Logan.
Almost the first communication I had was that message from Tom Campbell, the director of the Metropolitan Museum, saying, how can we help?
Were you surprised by that? I mean, that's so immediate a response.
I was surprised, and I just thought how wonderful it is to have colleagues like that. And as you know, as a result, the Met's lending us 3 wonderful masterpieces.
Rogers chose those 3 paintings carefully, starting with Winslow Homer's Northeaster.
So it's all about the power and the uncontrollable nature of human life in a way. And then central to the group is a statuesque portrait of a woman in mourning, grieving. It's called Tears, by a great English 19th century painter called Lord Leighton. And then thirdly, there's a painting by Manet, the great impressionist, of the other great impressionist, Monet, in his garden with his family, just relaxing. So you can see, I think, the progression of thought, from the uncontrollable to grieving, and then to the human bonds that make life so special.
How did you come to the decision to offer the museum free on these 3 days?
It really wasn't a decision, it just, I knew we were going to do it, and we did it.
What does it mean to the staff to be able to do something like this after a crisis?
Boston strong, pride, the feeling that we've done something to help as well.
Because in those days after, there's a feeling of helplessness too.
Amongst that helplessness, the feeling of shock, the lack of direction, if you can provide leadership, that's a very, very meaningful thing. Something to do, a way of adding meaning to lives that are shaken.
Since the attacks, we've seen the response from people all over the world. Gifts and messages that remind us we're not alone. Quilters are now creating their own tribute that will also be on display at the museum.
I just think this flag is beautiful.
Amy Friend is a sewing blogger from West Newbury. She's now organizing hundreds of flags. A quilter in Canada started the To Boston with Love project, put the instructions online, and reached out to Amy, who called the MFA.
How did it make you feel to be spearheading this flag project here?
It makes you feel good to try to do something to help, even though I realize a display of flags isn't going to help people who are recovering from injuries. It's just a sign of love.
She's already received 450 flags with pledges of hundreds more.
So it's conceivable that when the museum opens for Memorial Day weekend, there will be 1,000 flags here in tribute to Boston.
That's our goal.
The MFA has no doubt they'll achieve it.
It's very exciting. It's affecting almost every country in the world.
That message in and of itself is powerful.
Solidarity. You know, everybody loves Boston and wants to share, and share in a meaningful way, share sadness, but also to be positive.